Good evening. This is the Board of Trustees meeting, February 26th, 2019. I'd like to take a motion to close the executive session and open the public meeting. Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? 6-0. I'd like to talk about a few things before we start. Oh. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight's prayer is Trustee DeRozzi.
Good evening. Through the last few weeks, and I'm sure for months, I have been following and seeing the news of what is going on in Venezuela. And as I read and listen to some of these videos and the disturbing images that they filter through social media, I run into one that was very touchy this week. And I thought that it was an instant reaction for me to feel so grateful that we live in a country as the United States, in a state as New York, and in a village as Dobbs Ferry. It just gave me an essence of how privileged and blessed we are. So I would like to remind everyone tonight of the challenges and problems that so many other countries and cities and destinations suffer day after day, and how privileged we are to live in a community like Dobbs Ferry, to be grateful for the things that we have and not to think and take for granted the things that we are blessed with. Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to open up with a few comments about things that took place in the village recently. One is, we had an accident, or a couple of accidents, up on Clinton Avenue. Town Supervisor Paul Feiner was interviewed by News 12, and it was covered with them. But just to give you a little background on that situation, the village, going back about a year ago, met with myself in particular, met with the residents on that street. And it's been for quite some time, the residents have had issues there with the traffic, especially around rush hour, people going to the train, taking the kids to school, et cetera. So, you know, I had committed to do what I could to try to help the situation there and make the area safer. I live up there. My kids walk to school from there, so I'm familiar with the area. So I understand what they were going through. What I did immediately as I took office, I went to the traffic committee with Deputy Mayor Cassell. We seek their advice. I see a member here of the traffic committee, Rob Barron. And there were a lot of things that were recommended that we could do. One was we initially did a traffic study. We had a traffic expert, consultant, come in and do some studies on that area. And the police department also did. I noticed Officer Travis Colvin is here, who's in charge of our traffic unit in the police department. Travis, thank you. And there were other things that were recommended, such as signage. The speed limit on the road, because of state requirement, is 25 miles an hour. Although the traffic committee said, you know, we'll put up a sign recommending 15 miles an hour, especially when you come to that curve at the top of Clinton. So in the last, there were also a few other signs, pedestrian crossing. The shrubs were cut back. Enforcement was increased. I think the amount of tickets that were given out were doubled. So there has been a tremendous amount done. But I can still understand now that there's been 2 accidents within the last 4 months. A driver seemed to drift a little bit right, caught the corner of a telephone pole, and went left onto the grass. Thank God nobody was hurt. The last accident that occurred just a few weeks back, there are no traffic calming measures that we could have installed there that would have made a difference in that accident. The third accident since 2013 was a deer that ran out and ran into one of the cars. Happened to be my neighbor, and did some damage to the car. But thank God, in all of the accidents, there was nobody injured or hurt. So we did go out there today. We had our traffic consultant, expert from Mazer Consulting, the chief of police, fire chief,
DPW chief,
deputy mayor,
Charlene.
our village administrator. Is she back this way?
She's in the corner.
She's in the corner. Oh, okay. So we were all there looking at the situation, and there are some other measures that I think we'll be able to take that will continue to try to improve the situation there. So I wanted to make everyone aware of that, you know, I feel this way, the board all feels this way, that, you know, even one accident is too much, and we're going to try to do everything we can to improve the situation. The second thing that came up is it hit the press today about Mercy College. Mercy College is looking to, I don't know if some of you have read, the College of New Rochelle has had some financial issues over the last year or so, and it came out today that Mercy is in negotiations with the College of New Rochelle. I did have a conversation with the president of the college, Tim Hall. It was a good conversation. He assured me that the 3,000 students from the College of New Rochelle aren't coming to the Mercy campus. They're going to retain some of the least educational facilities that they have now. They're also going to use some of their campuses. They just opened a campus in Manhattan. They have a campus in White Plains and a few other spots. So just to assure the residents that you're not going to have 3,000 cars on the road here in Dobbs Ferry. And we'll keep an eye on that also. So thank you for bearing with me with those announcements. And we have our first presentation tonight is our library director, Charlene. Elizabeth Hobson, thank you, Elizabeth, for coming. And Elizabeth's going to give us an update on the library for the last year. Elizabeth's doing a great job, her and her staff. And the friends of the library also, Vicki Jones and her group. Thank you.
Before I start my presentation, I just want to say a couple of words about working here for the past year.
your booklets. But one of the things, these are statistics that we use every month at the library board meetings to sort of tell the story of what's been happening. And I cherry-picked some of them for you tonight because I wanted to give you a little bit of a picture about some of the really positive things that have been happening at the library. The first two are daily usage and reference insert queries and actions. And what those are is we had been counting, doing a very estimated count that, to my view, was really off. It was probably about 2 or 3 times these numbers for library visits. I don't know where those numbers came from. They didn't look right to me, and I started, I instituted it's basically a paper reporting form. We tried to get it with a really cheap door counter, and it never functioned. Sorry, China did not come through for me. But I did something that I've done before, which is basically have the staff report every day at every patron desk how many people they come in contact with. How many bodies they see is one count, that's library visits, and how many queries they assist with. Even so, those are good numbers for the amount of people and the amount of interactions that are happening at your public library every year. These counts were June through December because I couldn't go back and I didn't have the full year for the fiscal year of 2019. So I wanted to make them apples to apples. And that's not something that we had prior to. I didn't list the prior years because I couldn't pull out the same data for library visits because the other one was an estimated that I did not think was really very real. Going forward, you will have closer, tighter numbers. These numbers here are library program sessions and non-library sponsored programs, sessions and attendance. And both of those were showing really good growth. That's an area that I've been really focusing on for the past year. We've gone from a total attendance of 2,100 to 2,600 people in attendance at programs at the library. 177 sessions to 216 sessions. Those are individual programs Judah. Jeff Judah was the most important part of revenue generation at the library level because he brought us to the New York Class Investment, which has really brought in a nice source of revenue for the library, and it's using the funds that, you know, the public has already made available to the library. So it was just, I really had to like, that was a really wonderful addition to what's going on this year. Other community collaborations, these are some of the things, it's fun to say, I was talking about, well, we should be connecting with this person and that person a year ago, and here is Cabrini Immigrant Services, where we did a story time with them in the summertime. I didn't have a picture of the Sierra Club lectures, but we had a really nice collaboration with the Sierra Club and the Greenberg Nature Center. And River Arts has come in, that was actually a room rental, so we got the rent for it, and we got 4 awesome authors to come in and have a conversation. So that was really a fun dual program for us. We are working on our strategic plan, getting to the end of it. I don't know where I am. We need to put like a big clock so people say, okay, it's time. You're done. So this picture on the right is the Duxbury Middle School Honor Society, who gave us a lot of input from the middle school demographic, what they would like to see out of the public library, their public library. The other picture is our community survey, who's our little response station that we put up there. You can just do a little finger poll there. And the outcome of that so far is tomorrow night, the library board will be voting in a new mission and vision statement. And so I'm just giving you a preview of what will be voted on. Not official today, but it will be tomorrow.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you very much. I'm really thrilled with what you've done there at the library this year with your team and the board and the friends. And I've enjoyed going. I mean, one of the things when I ran for mayor, I said I wanted to have fun. And I go to the library now. It's like a hub. There's so many great activities, even like the cultural events I've gone to. They're participatory, they're educational, there's food. It's just, it's wonderful for the village what you've done here. And I'm just thrilled with it. I'm also excited about the numbers. I mean, it looked like the first number you were talking about was up 25%. The other doubled from 2,000 to 4,000, which is tremendous activity. So it really is a centerpiece for the village, and you should be proud and your staff for everything that you've done. Thank you. Yeah. Great. Anybody else?
I have one other thing to say. I have to leave before Rob gets up here, but I promised him I would read the last paragraph of the letter that I wrote in support of the next presentation.
Oh, okay.
But I just wanted to share this with you because it's important, the connections. It's another point of connection. The ridership of the Beeline bus includes a number of demographic groups important to the library's mission, including the elderly, families with young children who are currently underserved. It is difficult, if not impossible, and sometimes dangerous for these patrons to reach the library from the current bus stop. We strongly encourage the village and county to implement the proposed changes and return the Beeline number 6 to Main Street, where it can serve as yet another lifeline to the heart of our village and to the library as well.
That's great. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Our support is with the bus line.
That's nice. I appreciate that collaboration between the groups. It's really great to see that. So thank you very much. Does anybody else have a?
I have one quick comment,
Yeah.
if I may. I think I agree with everything Bob said. What you guys have accomplished is extraordinary, and you've done it in a way that's collaborative and wonderful for the village. So thank you. I would also like to thank you for your flexibility and your staff's flexibility and generosity with your space while our community center has been under construction, out of commission and under construction, because it's really been an important resource for the community, just the physical space, given that our embassy center has been out of commission. So thank you.
Delighted to work with everybody in the village, and Abby and I are talking, I told her we don't want to lose all the seniors, so we're already talking about ways that we can continue to collaborate going forward.
Great. Thanks, Vicki. Can I make a comment?
Do you want me to wait till people be heard about?
Yeah, we'll go through this and then thank you. Thanks again, Elizabeth. Our next presentation is with Rob Barron from the Traffic Committee and the Sustainability Task Force. And this is regarding something Elizabeth just spoke about, was the bus on the route number 6 bus. And we'll consider a resolution for that. Rob?
Thank you very much for having me here. Why should we care about one bus route, a seemingly small matter? Well, buses are public transportation, which is the linchpin in our climate action plan transportation goals to reduce driving, reduce traffic, improve safety, and save our environment. A small change altering a bus route can help us move closer to these goals in Dobbs Ferry. For the last decade, we've been getting farther from our goals. The column on the left is ridership for 2008. On the right, 2018. You can see we had a 21% decline in bus ridership. The other thing to keep in mind, just for perspective, so we're down to about 1,100 rides, 1,100 daily trips on average. There are 439 parking spaces for commuters at the train station, just to give you some perspective. So this is a real number. Okay. Next slide, please. This is also an equity issue, since 9% of village households don't own a car. More people than that don't drive, like children, teens, and the elderly. And lots of visitors in our village ride the bus. Next slide, please. When we moved the number 6 bus a few years ago, the only change to the route occurred between the two blue arrows, where Broadway intersects with Livingston on the bottom, and where Broadway intersects with Cedar on the top. Everything else remained the same. Before, all the buses followed the yellow line and stopped at the green circles. So the yellow line, you see that on the left there? I don't know if the colors are great. After, the number 1 buses stayed on the yellow line, the line to the left, and the number 6 buses followed the brown line and stopped at the red X at Broadway and Chestnut. Did I see that? Great. Next slide, please. In order for people to use transit, again, it has to be convenient. But as you'll see in the area of the black box, what we did by moving the 6 to Broadway was make connecting with Metro North less convenient. And this small change had a big impact on ridership. Next slide, please. Moving the 6 bus to Broadway left only the number 1 buses and the infrequent number 66 buses serving the station. And we had a tremendous decline in ridership there. A contributing factor is that only the 6 buses provide 7-day service to the eastern half of Dobbs Ferry, nothing else. So moving the bus to Broadway made it really inconvenient for anyone on that side of the village to get to the station by bus. It is why connectivity among and between transportation modes is directly addressed by our climate action plan. And clearly, by leaving the bus where it is, we're not addressing it. Next slide, please. Moving the 6 to Broadway also made it less convenient for bus riders not taking Metro North. Bus riders get the benefit of higher frequency service when routes that branch come together in a central location like they used to do in our downtown. Before we split the 1 buses, the green circles, from the 6 buses, the red X, someone waiting at the green circle could take either bus to key destinations in other river towns, White Plains, or Yonkers. After we split the buses, riders had to pick one or the other and go to that stop, meaning instead of 2 buses to choose from, they now only had 1. So for many people who haven't taken the bus, I'm just going to give you a quick analogy. Think of the 4 or 5 subway train at Grand Central. These both branch when they get into Brooklyn or the Bronx. But within Manhattan, they come together and have overlapping destinations. So you can take either the 4 or 5 to get to Wall Street or to 86th Street, which increases the frequency and gives you, the rider, more choices. With Beeline having far less frequency than the subway, it is hugely convenient to have multiple options. That's what we used to have in downtown Dobbs before we moved the 6 to Broadway. Next slide, please. It should be no surprise that less convenience results in less ridership. Next slide, please. Another thing to highlight is the issue of safety. And I think you've seen this slide before in other presentations that we've done. But I want to make sure everyone understands the impact of motorist speed on pedestrian survival rates in crashes. Because everyone getting to and from a bus stop is pedestrian. Basically, it just means that the faster the car is going, the more likely the person will not survive. Next slide, please. This came into play when we moved the 6 bus to Broadway. It is a more dangerous street. At 40 feet of width, Broadway is much wider than Main, and the prevailing speed is almost 40 miles per hour. I saw a young mom left off the bus towing 2 small children and holding a third in her arms trying to cross here, and I was petrified for them. For elderly and disabled people trying to reach St. John's Riverside Hospital by bus, only the 6 goes there, so they have to use this stop. It is a lonely spot, especially at night, with no shelter and not even a storefront to duck into to stay warm and dry. Next slide, please. Actually, storefronts are a great beneficiary of bus stops, helping commerce. And these are plentiful on Main. As our chair, Lisa Fassman, of the State of Louis Task Force says, returning the 6 encourages people to shop in our businesses, eat in our restaurants, and stroll through our bustling downtown is a sign of a healthy community. The Rivertown's Chamber of Commerce President Nick Campbell says, quote, "People in the villages are actively pursuing lifestyles that don't include owning a car and/or are seeking some alternative. An effective and safe bus system is critical for improving commerce and creating vibrant downtowns." I urge you also to read the other letters, endorsement letters from the library, Cabrini, and the PTSA Safe Routes Committee. Also note that our climate action plan actually calls for putting bus stops near storefronts. It's right in there. Next slide, please. Buses are also a great way to reduce traffic congestion by moving more people in less space than cars do. The two top photos show 48 people as they would fit in a bus, and then the same on the left, and then the same 48 as they would fit in cars. This illustrates why if we want to do something about traffic, we have to get more people out of their cars and onto a bus or walking or somewhere. As for noise and pollution, I know it's a big issue for people. The county has been purchasing quieter and cleaner hybrid buses with anti-idling technology. And there's a picture of one right there. When stopped, they are virtually silent. When in motion, they are 25% quieter than non-hybrid buses, get double the miles per gallon, and significantly reduce emissions. Also, by this fall, every county bus will sport a bike rack. Next slide, please. In fact, by the end of 2019, 53% of the county bus fleet will be hybrid. Compare this to the fact that just 2% of cars in the United States are hybrid or electric. And I've recently learned that the county soon will take delivery of 2 fully electric buses just to test out to see if they can implement them here in Westchester. And it's a really exciting prospect because zero-emission vehicles for our entire bus fleet would be amazing. Next slide, please. So making this small change is easy and will yield positive results. All the village needs to do is pass a resolution and request that it be made. There'll be no cost to the village at all. And parking spaces on Main Street will be completely unaffected since the 6 bus would use existing bus stops. Next slide, please. So, thank you for taking the time to discuss this small change of a bus route that can help reduce driving, reduce traffic, improve safety, and save the environment in keeping with our climate action plan. I'm happy to take questions.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for doing the research on this. It's very thorough, and
It's all data publicly available from the county.
it's
So
great.
Rob, that bus stop on Broadway is only bus stop, the only bus that stops there is that 6. So if they do away with that, that bus stop would be available for, I mean, it just, what happens to it?
I mean, theoretically, it would be available for parking, but I should, let you know that, there's been drivers who have complained to the traffic committee about, the sight line there. And, the fact that the bus pulls over sometimes there, a driver who's coming up Chestnut Street often can't see what's coming from the right. So if we could probably add 1 or 2 spaces, but we shouldn't go crazy because we want to make sure that drivers have really good sight lines.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob and I have been discussing this since it was moved. Just from a personal experience, I do live on the east side of town and I'm unable to drive. So I relied quite a bit on the number 6 bus to get to the downtown and get to the train station. When it was moved up to Broadway, it really cut into my ability to get around town. Also, crossing Broadway for a disabled person can't be done. Also, Rob didn't mention the hill at Chestnut. Again, if you're disabled or even not on a snowy or rainy day, that hill is dangerous to walk down or walk up. So I am totally supportive of moving the bus back down to Main Street.
Can I add, I wasn't here when they moved the 6, and I don't know why they moved the 6. So can you shed some light on that?
I think there's no documentation really about that, so I can't
Oh, it just moved all of a sudden.
Well,
I-
what happened, I don't know exactly what happened, but when it did happen, Robert, I did question it, because it wasn't presented to the board, as far as I know, not publicly, it wasn't presented to the public, all of a sudden we were told it was being moved. I asked the administration why it was being moved, they said the Beeline bus, it was their decision. I called the Beeline bus said, no, the village requested it, so we don't know where it really happened.
It's also extraordinary about it is, I think, you know, when the last time bus stops were sort of cited, as far as I know, was way even before I moved here in 1979, I believe. And those, you know, there was a resolution that was passed and went before the board that, you know, we want to put bus stops in a certain place. And I can't find any reference to a resolution that occurred to move the six.
No, there wasn't any. That's why we wanted to have a presentation, so that this would be totally out in the public, and so people would know what was going on.
Great, thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to make a comment? Ma'am? Can you come up to the microphone? Just state your name and address.
I'm Linda Cronquist, and my address is in Terrytown, but I seem to live in Dobbs Ferry. I own a portable for the children's consignment shop. When they changed the bus route, my business nearly tanked. We had to fight hard just to stay there, and we are still fighting hard. Because many of the people who come to a consignment shop, some of them come to consign, but a lot of them come to buy. And the fact that they come with their children. So we need that route just to stay alive and to stay in Dobbs Ferry. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Molly?
I'm Molly Rodriguez. I'm the director of the Dobbs Ferry Food Pantry, which is at South Presbyterian Church. And I just want to reiterate what Elizabeth and Rob have said, that many of the clients of the Dobbs Ferry Food Pantry live downtown in Dobbs Ferry. They live over the shops, they live along Palisade Street, and many of them don't have cars. So they're the ones who have to labor up Chestnut Street or wherever to get to the Route 6 bus. And many of them do have 2 or 3 little kids, so that young mother that Rob saw might have been a client of the pantry. It's very hard to manage a couple of kids and try to get up a hill and then try to get across Broadway. So it really is very scary and very dangerous. And we also have a number of elderly and disabled clients who are also affected by this change in the route of the Route 6 bus. So I also would like to express my support for moving it down to Cedar in Maine.
Great. Thanks, Molly. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Robin Larkins. I'm the co-chair of Spring Community Partners. We serve children and families in need in Dobbs Ferry. And to reiterate what has been said, and I will send a letter also, this move of the bus route will support many of the families that we serve. And Elizabeth made an excellent point about access to the library and other means of community involvement, which is part of our mission. So Spring Community Partners stands in support of this change as well.
Great. Thank you. Ma'am?
My name is Lorraine Campanelli, and I kind of wear 2 hats. I'm the director at Cabrini Immigrant Services, and I'm also a resident of Dobbs Ferry. So to speak on behalf of our clients, many of our clients do use the bus system, and they do have several children. So they're carrying carriages, children, bags if they went shopping. A lot of them use them to get to work, the bus. So I know in my letter I had said that it would be more convenient for them, but more importantly is the safety. And I say safety because I live on Broadway at 269, so I'm right before kind of that curve. And when I come out of my driveway, because of the parking, I have to kind of sneak out and hope that no one is coming so I can get across. And I have to say, I love the police department. If there's a police car passing, they will stop and help you to get across.
Great, thank you. Anyone else like to make a comment? Okay, so I guess I can move forward with the motion for the resolution here. So I'd like to take a motion that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Dobbs Ferry recommends for Westchester County to move the number 6 Beeline bus route and consolidate it with the existing downtown stops. Motion, Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee Durazi, all in favor? 6-0. Thank you all. It's a fine example of how you get things accomplished in the village. So thank you all.
It was a team, a lot of the people here felt a lot, so it was a team effort.
I see the,
A lot of people.
you got a lot of reinforcements here. We'll move to courtesy of the floor. Vicki, would you like to?
Mr. Jones, 55 Grandview, Dobbsbury. Yeah, it takes a team, and that's really, this community is really getting very engaged. We're not talking about football. And I'm very excited to be working so closely with Elizabeth and the library board. It is just really wonderful, and Bob, thank you so much for all that you've done for us. Tomorrow just happens to be New York State Advocacy Day for Libraries. And so I'm going to read a letter I sent to you, I'm going to send to you, I wrote it today, and we'll send it to the papers as well, and I'm going to tweak it a little bit and send it to my state representatives. The letter says, Dear Mayor and Village Trustees, on behalf of the Friends of the Library, I'm writing to publicly thank you for your support of our library. Our library, like so many others, is the cornerstone of our community. Libraries are for everyone. They provide a safe and welcoming space for all residents of Dobbsbury and the surrounding, not surviving, surrounding river towns. That might be a Freudian slip.
There wasn't an article in today's paper on that.
Are you reading about what's going on in Asia? Let me start that sentence again. Our library, like many others, is the cornerstone of our community. Libraries are for everyone. They provide a safe and welcoming space for all residents of Dobbsbury and the surrounding towns, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, country of origin, income, or education level. Federal policies are now undermining New York State's already inadequate tax structure. The result leaving funding for local education services like public library vulnerable to budget attacks. To paraphrase Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a budget is a moral document where we, though through our elected officials, choose to spend our collective resources serves as a testament to what we value. As elected officials prepare for this year's budget, we are hopeful that our library's budget will embrace our hopes rather than our fears, and will create programs that will benefit every resident, and that there are no better declaration of intent than funding our public library. Libraries offer free and equal access to educational opportunities and are the primary source of the internet access, as Elizabeth said earlier, for many of our neighbors. Dobbsbury residents of all ages, experiences, and needs turn to our local library for early literacy programs, classes in adult education and financial literacy, health groups, fitness workshops, technology assistance, and many other programs and services too numerous to stand here and list.
Vicki, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm getting from our viewing audience that there's a little static there, so can you step away from the mic a little bit? It's the viewing audience.
A viewing audience?
Yes, yeah.
Hi, Mom!
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Anyhow, is that better now? Call
I don't know, I'm waiting
If
for
not,
the,
I'll catch down the
waiting for the
street.
text.
You're getting great ratings, though, Vicki.
Anyhow, back to the story. Whatever you may,
Well, you're doing a great job, so thank you very much.
Not quite as many.
And you're going to be doing a presentation to the board?
There'll be more about the Friends
Yep.
Library and some wonderful things that are going on with us. We're really excited. There's a
Terrific.
comedy show this weekend. And I'm going to give you an example of how I work my friends. And I'm not just talking about the Friends Library. It just so happens that the comedy show is on my husband's birthday. And so I said, oh, what can we do for Jim's birthday? I know. We'll go out to dinner, and then we'll go to the library, and we'll watch the comedy show. So right now, we have about 20 people. We made reservations at Doubledays. They were lucky enough to give us 2 tables so that we can sit close to each other. And then I've asked my friends to donate at least $10 towards saving a seat for us at the library. The show is free, but I said if we all chip in $10, which is nothing because we have a little bit of money, that's $200 for the library, and that pays for another program to come in.
That's great.
And it makes our downtown vibrant, a lot of people in the restaurant, and I'd love to see this happen more. So the more people and more money that the Friends have to bring in quality programs, we'll build the downtown and get it, people will say, hey, let's go to dinner and a show, let's go to dinner and a lecture. It's all about building community.
Great. Thank you, Vicki. Anybody else for courtesy of the floor like to talk to the board? Questions? No? Okay. Thank you all. Travis, I think we're good, officer. Thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. I'd like to consider a motion to enter into an agreement to be signed by the village administrator with Joseph A. Danko to represent the village in open tax certiorari proceedings at a rate of $66.66 an hour. Motion? Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to accept the change orders pursuant to the memo by engineer George Palmer for the construction of the Embassy Center. You want to comment, Sean?
Sure. You have before you a memo from George Palmer, and I think it's fairly extensive. It gives the change orders, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the end result, although there's a lot of numbers, because a lot of the work that was extra is shoring up some of the beams that were worked on or discovered when they were taking down the ceiling, et cetera. That could not have been known prior to them taking down the walls and
Right.
taking down the ceiling. They had to be shored up with steel, and we had to wait for the steel and everything. But that was a very, very big cost item. The rest of the items were just changes because in the building you saw what was needed and what was not needed, and it was in consultation with Abby, actually, and a number of other people as to what, with the facilities committee, as to what was needed, what was wanted, and the conversion of what was going to be a undersized basketball court, basically, to a great room. It was also decided not to use the the doors, the electric doors that would make it into different spaces. Reason being, the smaller space really would not have been usable. The end result of it is that it is $88,000 more than it was initially bid on. But all those changes have been looked at not only by George Palmer, but by Ed, and have been discussed with Ed, too.
Great. Ed Manley is our building superintendent.
Yes, Ed Manley is our building official.
Yes. So it looks like, too, the good news is that the main part of the structure is still targeting to be finished in June, and then the addition that's going on
Yes,
will take a little bit longer.
yes.
Great, thank you. Consider a motion, I got to take the motion. to accept the change orders pursuant to the memo by George Palmer for the construction of the Embassy Center. Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to approve the bid for replacing a truck body on the DPW dump truck to the only bidder, Cliffside Body Corporation, in the amount of $24,085, as recommended by the DPW General Foreman, Steve Trezor. Motion? Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Taylor, 6-0. Consider a motion to change the civil service status of police officers Brad Scala and Julius Derayanik from probationary to permanent effective February 15th, 2019, as recommended by the police chief, Manuel Guevara. Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee DeRozzi, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to approve orders number 3, 4, and 5 for February 2019, as recommended by the village treasurer. Jeff, any comments? No? Trustee Rosillo? Trustee Taylor? Motion? All, second? Trustee Rosillo, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to approve a request from Elizabeth Hobson, our library director, to hang banners for the May 4th, 2019 FerryCon event at the Gould Park Fence Stop and Shop, the train station, and on the library facade from April 1st, 2019 to May 4th, 2019. Motion? Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to approve a request from the Girl Scouts of the Hudson to hold cookie booth sales at the Dobbs Ferry train station. Motion, Trustee DeRozzi, second. Trustee Nell, 6-0, all in favor?
Don't we usually have a date for that?
Do we have dates for them?
Yeah, usually.
I think there's dates in the.
It's in the
I'm asking
document,
for
I
a
think.
friend.
So am I.
It's in the letter, I think.
Is it? All right, so
I
think we
believe
should
there
just-
was a letter that
Yeah.
has
we should just put
details.
the dates in there?
Yeah, all the dates are in the email.
Do they have the thin mints?
Well, you can order them here.
Just checking.
I have my order form with me, if anybody would like pre-orders.
Talk to you later.
Okay, we have the minutes from February 19th, 2019. Do we have comments from those in attendance? You weren't here?
We have enough
Nor was
people?
I.
We can't do it.
We may not be able to approve, we may not have a quorum
Oh,
of the
Nicole was
10
We're missing Nicole.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait till the next meeting then. That's right, there are only 4 of us. Okay. Correspondence. Liz, do you have anything that you'd like to?
Actually, Mayor, I do have one item. First off, I wanted to start off by thanking the mayor and the board for their continued support of the Toys for Tots campaign. And as I mentioned previously, this is my 35th year doing it, so it is something very near and dear to my heart. We did receive a letter from the Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots campaign, thanking us for our participation and support, and to let us know that we are truly making a difference in the lives of Westchester's less fortunate children, and without people like us, they wouldn't be able to do what they do. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all, thank this community, surrounding communities. It's grown into a big family of people who come in and donate. So thank you all so much. And we also did receive the Commander's Award from Toys for Tots.
Well,
for our
congratulations, Liz.
participation. So
Thank you for your work with
again.
that. Very,
It wouldn't happen without you, Liz.
that's right. Great job with that. Thank you. Village Administrator, would you, Charlene, do you have anything else you'd like?
No, that's it.
Trustee DeRozzi?
Well, I've been a little bit absentee, but I just wanted to say that I do appreciate very much the work that they have been doing at the library. I was there yesterday with my daughter, and because I do live in the downtown, it's a pleasure to just walk to the library. It's such a delight to be able to just walk there, and the activities and everything that is going on. Every time that you walk in is something new. So great job and congratulations to all these ladies for the great work they're doing. I also, I'm asking someone to please volunteer to be the chair of our wonderful beautification committee. We are in desperately need of a chair for the committee as well as volunteers. I am working with the DPW and the members to try to come up with a new effort, new times, changes to be able to reinforce what Ms. Mary Gerber, great job was. She did an excellent job for us, and we're just trying to make it easier for people to volunteer and to help us to maintain the village beautiful. So please, come and see Christy. But I would love if someone can please step forward and become our chair for our beautification committee.
Great, thank you, trustee. Trustee Nell?
And to do that, go to dobbsferry.com, press volunteer now, and there's a form. And your application will go to Liz, she'll direct you to the right people, or email Mara directly. We also have a chamber multi-chamber breakfast that is being put on by the county. It's on March 14th from 8 to 9:30 a.m. It's at the Little Theater at the Westchester County Center. They're doing a big push with the county to try and reinvigorate all of the chambers, and they've called out ours as one of the most successful ones in the village, the Rivertown's Chamber here. The rep from who's Sherry, she's in Dobbs Ferry. She's gone to all of the chamber meetings all across the county, and she's like, this is the one that's like moving the fastest and moving forward and actually making things happen. So they're doing a lot of great work, so go chamber people. On the other side is the Downtown Improvement Task Force, which is just Dobbs residents. They're doing this survey, and this is the last week that they're taking submissions to the survey. They are actually giving away gift certificates they're pulling winners of 6 people to get gift certificates to local restaurants. I'm going to read the address. It's a website to go to do the survey. You can also find copies of it at the library and here at Village Hall, I believe. But the best and easiest way for them is to go to www.research.net/r/DF Downtown Improvement Survey. It's kind of a mouthful, but if you can go to it and fill out that survey, it's really thorough. You get to give a lot of your input about what you want to see in downtown Dobbs, and it's going to go a long way to helping them make recommendations to the board and to give more tools for the downtown landlords and real estate agents to try and tell businesses what our residents are wanting. And that's
Great.
what a huge thing.
It's a really good opportunity to get the word in now that, so things can change moving forward in the future. So take advantage of that. Thank you.
Meet CAB people.
Yes.
If you're interested in land use and looking at public land and how it can be used,
Yeah, open space.
Open space
and,
inventory.
yes, saving the open space. And,
right,
yeah.
those are the key people we need for volunteers right now. Beautification, CAB.
Thank you.
So you can go right out to the website, right, Trustee Nell?
Tomorrow night?
Fill out the form.
Chamber meetings tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, there's a Chamber of Commerce meeting at
Really?
Borough 6. Christie might not have been invited. I'm just kidding about that part. It's at Borough 6 in Hastings. I
That's
believe
right.
it begins at 6 o'clock. There'll be information on the Chamber website. And anyone, even non-members, are welcome. It's a great way to network and meet business people in the community.
The January one was bumping. It was the most crowded one they've had yet.
Thank you, Trustee
They're
Tillman.
also fun.
And Trustee Nell. Thank you. Trustee Rizzello? Nothing? Deputy Mayor?
Just the senior St. Patrick's Day party is going to be on March 14th, so come be green, have fun. They're always great fun events, so.
It is a great event. I'll be there. Corned beef and cabbage?
I'm assuming.
You're assuming, okay. Just again, the Dobbs Ferry Little League Parade is April 27th. So it's always a lot of fun. The kids get a real thrill out of it, marching down to the field and kicking off the season. So try to make it down. Also, the St. Patrick's Day Parade is March 10th. Starts at 1:30 in Tarrytown. Anybody that would like to march is welcome to march with the village. We have the fire department will be there and some of our police department officers. And that's always a lot of fun, too. Marches up to Sleepy Hollow. Great. Thank you all very much.
Wait,
Meeting.
take a motion to close the meeting.
Oh,
You should do that just to make it official.
this is like a first.
That's right.
Wow, I learned something
First
at
of many.
I learned something at every meeting.
First of many. I noticed it last week, I meant to talk to you privately.
Oh, okay. And all my friends are here. Look at. Okay. Do I have a motion? Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Taylor, 6-0. Thank you.